In this video we gonna set up the jump animation and the run animation as well. Okay, so what we gonna do, we head over to sprites, okay, of this sprite sheet. We need to go to free, then virtual guy. Okay, so we have this ideal sprite sheet, run sprite sheet. Okay, we have all of them. So we have the jump one, run sprite sheet. As you can see, this is a sprite sheet. Okay, so what we need to do, so select single to multiple. Okay, select single to multiple and hit apply and go over to sprite editor. So click the sprite editor, you will head to sprite editor. Okay, so what we're gonna do, as you can see, we're gonna slice this sprite sheet. Okay, so we're gonna slice and select automatic to grid by cell count. Okay, grid by cell count and count how many columns and rows. Okay, so 3 3 6 6 9 9 12, so 12 columns and one row, as you can see. So we're gonna put 12 columns, okay, and one row, and then slice it. Okay, and then slice it and then hit apply. It will cut off individually. Okay, so we will have individual sprite sheet. So as you can see, run 32 into 32, select from the first add to the end. Okay, select all of them by holding down shift and left mouse button. Okay, and drag it to the player. Okay, drag it onto the player. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to assets and we're gonna go head over to animation folder. Okay, animation folder, and then player animation. We already have the ideal animation, so we will create the run animation. Okay, so name that to player underscore run and hit enter. Okay, and head over to animation tab. Okay, as you can see, so this is ideal clip. So we gonna select the run. As you can see, it's running. So I think it's too slow, maybe too slow. So we're gonna make this little fast. Okay, what we need to do, select like this. Okay, and drag it, I guess. Oh, I did mistake. Sorry, I did mistake. So we need to again to do that. So what we're gonna do, select all of that and drag it to the player. Okay, assets, head over to assets, animation, player animation. We're gonna change this run to run. Yes, we want to replace that. So this is run animation. Okay, so as you can see, it's little slow, but we will make that later first. Okay, so what we're gonna do, go to animator. Okay, go to animator. If you can find the animator tab, you just have to do, go to window. Okay, animation, then animation, and animation tab, and also the animator tab. Okay, as you can see, by default we have selected the player ideal. Okay, you can select by right click and set as a layer default state. Okay, but we're gonna default the ideal state. Okay, so right click on that, set as layer, set as default state. Okay, so what are we gonna do, we're gonna go to whenever we press, okay, whenever we press A or D key, so the movement becomes lesser than or greater than 0f. So we're gonna move to run animation. So we need to make a float parameter. Okay, that will keep track of when to go to run state and when to go to idle states. So in the parameter you can see, okay, in the plus, just hit that plus icon. Okay, and select the float. Okay, we will call this to speed. You can call whatever you can and hit enter. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to transition to we're gonna transition to idle state, from idle state to run state. Okay, so what you need to do, right click. Okay, right click on that and then make transition. Okay, make transition and select this. okay. And then we also need to go back to idle state, from run to idle state. When we don't press anything like that, so the movement will be 0f. Over here, as you can see, the speed, okay, the speed. If I go to debug mode, okay, so go to inspector, in the top right corner you can see three dots. Just right click that and debug mode, okay. In the debug mode you will able to see the movement. When the movement becomes 0, we're gonna go to idle state, okay. So right click, and make transition idle state. So we gonna go to normal mode. So I'm just going to normal mode. So what we need to do, when to go to run state and when to go to idle state. So just click this arrow. So okay, just click that arrow. As you can see, has exit time. So this means the player idle animation will play 90% or 100%, then it will go to run state, okay, run animation, okay. But we don't want to wait that much time, okay. Gonna go instantly. So what we need to do, we need to uncheck this has exit time, okay, has exit time. And also transition duration, we don't wanna wait. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna select 0, okay, we're gonna select 0. So and the condition, so we need to select this plus icon. If we need to set a condition, if that condition is true, we're gonna go to run state, okay. If that condition is false, we're gonna go to player idle state. As you can see, speed, okay, speed, when the speed, okay, speed parameter over here, as you can see, speed, okay. So when the speed, as you can see the speed, okay. So if it's greater than zero point 0.1, okay, like if we press the space key, okay, if we press the if we press the D key, so the speed, okay, we're gonna set this speed to 1, okay, we're gonna set this speed to 1. And when we are lesser than, okay, lesser than, we also need to go back to idle state. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to instantly. So we're gonna untick the has exit time, also the 10 transition duration, okay. We're gonna go instantly. When to go, we're gonna set this less, okay, when our movement is lesser than zero point 0.1, okay, like minus, okay, like minus. So we're gonna set this parameter, okay, through via our code, okay. So if we go to animator, if I hit play, okay, if I hit play, so when we set this speed parameter to 1, it will go to player run animation. When we set this speed to 0, okay, when we set this speed to 0, it will go to idle state, okay. So let's suppose we set this speed to 1. As you can see, it's going to run animation, okay. If we set it to 0, okay, we are going back to idle state. So we need to control this via script, okay. So what we're gonna do, so as you can see, if I select the player, as you can see over here is a animator field, okay. Animator controller or animator field is attached to this player game object. So by this we need to control. So this is responsible for animating, okay, animator component. So what we need to do, we need to access this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to player, okay. We're gonna go over to player and we're gonna make a animator field, okay, public, okay, public, make it public. And animator, we will name this to animator. We need the animator. So animator, you can call this an ANM or animator short form, okay. Control S on your keyboard and head back to Unity. You will able to see an empty field of animator will appear. So what we need to do, we need to drag the animator component to that, okay. So we will have the reference, so we will have the link, so we can communicate in this parameter. We going to set this over here. As you can see the speed, we're gonna set this to via our code, okay, via our code. So just wait for to compile, okay, just wait for to compile. So as you can see, animator field appear, it says none. So what we need to do, we need to drag the animator to that field. So now we have link, now we can communicate with this animator. So what we gonna do, we're gonna do over in the update function. We need to check each frame, so that's why we're gonna do in update function. What we're gonna do, we're gonna check if, okay, if we have to type mathf dot absolutes. Let's suppose, okay, let's suppose we are pressing the a key. Okay, we are pressing the a key, so the movement becomes 0. Sorry, the movement becomes minus. But as you know, if I select the animator, as you can see, if it's lesser than 0.1, as we know -1 is lesser than this. Okay, so we can go to that. So over here we have to type mathf dot apps. Okay, mathf, sorry, we just have to type mathf. Okay, mathf dot apps. Okay, this mean absolute. Okay, this mean absolute. Let's you press the a key, so movement will be -1. But this function over here, mathf dot apps, it will convert it to positive number. So movement, you have to pass the movement. Okay, movement and movement, and if it's greater than 0f, okay, oh no, 0.1f, as you can see. So I'm going to explain that. So as you can see, the speed parameter, okay, the speed parameter, when it's became greater to 0.1, as we know, if we press the d key, so the movement will be 1. So it is greater than zero point 0.1, as we know that 1 is greater than zero point 0.1. So what we gonna do, so over here when we press the a key or d key. Okay, let's suppose we press the a key. Okay, so the movement will be -1, which will be lesser than this number, but we need the greater. So what we are doing, we are taking this function mathf dot apps. It will convert the -1. When we press the a key, the movement became -1. So -1, this is which will be lesser than zero point 0.1, but we need greater than zero point 0.1. So this function over here, it will turn out the negative value to positive value. So when we point, so -1 becomes 1. This function convert the -1 to 1. So the movement is -1, and we are taking this function, so this function will turn out to turn this movement to +1, so which will be greater than zero point 0.1, as we know. So if the movement becomes greater than zero point 0.1, we're gonna go to run state. What are we gonna do, we're gonna set this parameter to 1 unit. Okay, so what we need to do, if and we are doing in if condition, we are checking it. Okay, if we are checking each frame, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to animator. Okay, animator dot set float. You have to type the same name. Okay, you have to type the same name, speed. Okay, speed, as you can see, speed. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna type the speed, and we have to type the value. So we're gonna set it to 1f. Okay, so if this speed became 1, it will go to run animation. Okay, it will go to run animation. Okay, so as you can see, so this mathf dot fs, it convert negative value to positive value. So when we press the a key, it will be -1, but mathf dot absolute, over here it will convert it to +1, so which will be greater than 0.1, 0.1f. So what we are doing, so we are going to animator. Okay, and then we are setting this speed parameter to 1. And if it's this parameter, if this parameter became 1, it will go to run state. It will go to run state. Okay, so just wait for to compile. Just wait for to compile. So if I hit play, okay, when we press the a key or d key, okay, it will go to run state. It will go to run state. Okay, when we press something like that. Okay, so as you can see, but we also need to go back to player idle state. How we can do, we need to set this speed parameter. Okay, speed parameter to 0. So we will go back to our idle state. Okay, we can go to idle state. So what we need to do, we need to head over to script once again. We're gonna check else if. Okay, else if mathf. Okay, mathf dot ifs. Okay, mathf dot ifs movement. Okay, movement is lesser than 0.1 f. 0.1 f. Okay, so as you can see, if I select this transition from run animation to idle state. Okay, if I select the if it's this speed parameter. Okay, the or the sorry, the movement parameter, if it's became 0, which we know it is lesser than 0.1 f, which we know, which lesser than 0.1 f. As you can see, if the movement becomes lesser than 0.1 f, we know that if we not pressing anything like that a or d key, so the movement becomes 0. So we are converting to mathf dot absolute, which is plus 0. Okay, so which is lesser than 0.1 f. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back to, if we are not pressing anything like that, it becomes 0 and a 0, and as we know, 0 is lesser than 0.1 f. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set this speed parameter to 0 f, so it will go to idle state. Okay, it will go to idle state. So animator. Okay, animator dot, we're gonna do set float, select float. We're gonna set the speed float. Okay, is speed float, and we're gonna set it to 0. If we set it to 0, this speed parameter, it will go back to idle state. Okay, so this mathf dot fs convert the any negative value to positive value. Like if we are not pressing anything like that, so the movement become 0. Okay, 0 plus this mathf dot fs converted to plus 0, which is we know plus 0 is lesser than 0.1 f. So what we are doing, we are going to animator component, and we are setting the float speed parameter. Okay, speed parameter to 0f. If it's 0f, it will go back to idle state. Okay, so if I head back to Unity, you will able to see that happening. Okay, happening. So the certain condition, this speed parameter is lesser than, if it's lesser than 0.1 f. Okay, 0.1 f. So what we are doing, we are going back to idle state. Okay, so if I select the player. Okay, select the player, or hit the play button. Okay, so when this speed parameter becomes 0, we will go to idle state. When this speed parameter become 1, it will go back to run state, or run animation. Sorry, as you can see, when we press nothing, the movement becomes 0f. Okay, the movement becomes 0f, 0f, which is lesser than 0.1 f. If we select this transition, which we know that movement is 0 point, which is lesser than 0.1 f. So what we are doing, we are going to animator component, and we are setting this parameter, speed parameter over here. We are setting this to 0. Okay, so if it's 0, so it will go back to idle state. But if it's become 1, or speed parameter, okay, it will go to run animation. So when we are setting to run animation, so this over here, okay, if we press a or d key, okay, this movement become 1. But when we press the a key, it will become -1. But over here mathf dot fs converted to positive 1. So which is greater than, we know, point 1. 1 is greater than 0.1. So what we are doing there, we are setting, we are going to animator component, and we setting this parameter. Okay, it's speed parameter to 1f. So 1, if it's this if the speed parameter became 1. Okay, so we will going to player run state. So speed is greater than zero point 0.1, because we 0.1, if it's the speed. Okay, the speed, if it's become greater than 0.1, as we know, we set the speed parameter to 1, so which is greater than point 1, so we are going to player run animation. But when its speed becomes lesser than 1 and we set it to 0, okay, we set it to 0, speed parameter, okay, we set it to 0, which we know which is lesser than point 1, 0 is lesser than point 1, so we are going back to ideal state. So that's what's happening. Okay, if you couldn't understand like that, just comment below. Okay, and in the next tutorial we will cover the jump animation as well, with some tile maps like those. Okay, so this is for this video, and if you are new to my channel then subscribe it, and if you enjoy it, just give a thumbs up. If you have any question like that regarding this video or anything like that, just comment below. Okay, I comment below. And lastly, thanks for watching this video. Okay, goodbye.